Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Today is our last day of the free session. Then we will start, hopefully, the OP concept. But it's the topic of tomorrow's. So let's start with what we have learned in the previous lesson. I will open the project here. Yes, we were working on the array lists. Actually, you can call it list. You do not need to say array list. When you say list, they will understand what you are talking about. When we talk about arrays, they are fast and simple, but because of not being able to add elements dynamically or delete them, and when we are creating the array, we need to set the length of the array. These are the disadvantages of arrays. So Java creators created list data type, and from that we can create flexible list documentations. For example, if you want to create a list of your products in your market, you can create a list, and you do not need to know how many products you will have during the sales. So in this kind of situations, we should use a list data type. And a list uses array structure, but because of its dynamic and flexible features, we prefer using a list to store values. And we have created lists. How do we create it? Like this list between diamonds, data type of the elements inside of it, a name, doesn't matter, a new keyword, and then you should write it like this. Don't worry about it. These are different, but don't worry about it for now. To add the elements, you should use the name of the list and add method. The biggest disadvantage of the list is this. If you have a list to add to the this kind of list, the list of type, you have to add them one by one. But there's always an easier way to apply. You can create your list as an array like this, and by using a loop, you can add all these elements to a list. This is an array, and we have created an empty list here. It doesn't have anything. And by using the list, by using the loop, we are adding each element to new created list. That's all we need to do. In the list, instead of length, we use size to see how many elements it has. Contains, we have also contains method. It's just like a string data type. If you want to check if the list has something, you should use contains. Does it contain 9 through? Does it contain 1? No, there's no one in this list. Of course, this is an array, but we have turned all these elements to a list here by this loop, and now our list has these elements. Because of the flexible structure, you can remove any element from the list. There were something we should be careful about. First, you can directly remove the object, or you can use the index number to remove an object. Both of them are numbered. If you directly enter a number to delete a number, it will be deleted according to the number. Let's say I want to delete number 4. When you say it, it will accept it as an index number 0, 1, 2, 3. 4 will be deleted because we have entered 4. If you specifically delete the 4, first you need to assign it to a value. Where is it? I cannot find it. Oh, here it was here. I'm sorry. And yes, we need to assign the value to an integer data. So then we can write the name of the value to delete it from the list. We have also set method. This is used to delete, or I'm sorry, this is used to change a value in a list. Let's say we have a list and I want to change it. I want to change this 6 to 9. You can do it, just we need to write set 6 to 9. But don't forget that first one will be accepted as index number. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 will be changed. It was 3 and it will be 9. Now we got understood how to use remove method. Index of. It's also important method. If you want to learn the index of any value in a list, you should use index of. It will take the first one's index value. It will return the value. For example, when you want to see index of 8, is it 8 now? Is it 8 now? Is it 8? Yes, this is. The index value 0, 1, 2. It returns 2. Okay, and we have created a list. We have created a list in this question, and we have used a method, and this method was taking the values from user and saving them as a list. We have also solved a question about Fibonacci numbers. Okay, I think that's all for the review. Now let's start today's topic. But before continuing the lesson, I have a quiz, and we will try to solve it together. Socrates student. And we will enter Madam 86 authoring. The first question was coming, but it couldn't. I am Tyler today. Okay, let's try to understand the question. We have an array, integer array, and it is created like this. When we create it like this, if you remember, let me take the pencil. If you do not assign the values by using the curly brackets, if you don't do it like this, if you use new keyword, it will have default values of data type. Pi means it will have 5 boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And because of not assigning any value to them, each value will be 0 because default data of integer is 0. 0, 0, 0, 0, and another 0. Let me write the indexes. 0 index, index 1, index 2, index 3, index 4. Okay. We have the situation right now. Let's try to understand what's the question. Which of following is incorrect regarding the above code? Perfect. An array containing elements of integer data type is created. Yes, this is lowercase, so it's right. An array, this array will have only integer data in it. Other data types cannot be stored in this array because the data type, the elements should be integer. This is correct. This array contains 5 elements, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, the number is 5, so it will have 5 elements. It's also correct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because I have started from 0, it was 4. Since, let's go here. System outprint ln array 5. When you write 5 here, you know, we need to write the index number here. Do we have index 5? No, we do not have index 5 because if we had it, it would be here, but we don't have it. When we try to print it, it will give an exception. I mean error. It won't print anything. This is wrong. The last option is, since no element is assigned to this array, okay, Java assigns default values, different value for each element. This is correct. The default value for integer is 0. So all the elements will be 0. Okay. By being wrong, the right answer is C. Let me check if we have any question. If you have any question, please do not hesitate to ask them. You can write them, Zoom channel, Slack channel, or you can use a YouTube channel. Okay, we have another question. Short, okay, this data type will be short. We are creating an array, and it will have 4 elements. Let's set all those 4 elements. 1, 2, I will make them a little bigger. Okay, we have the array. Normally, all of the elements are 0 because we have created it like this. But here we have a few code. Index 0, 1, 2, 3 will be here. Now the values. Index 0 will be 10. 10. Index 1 will be 11. 11, index 1. Index 3 will be 13. Index 3, 13. We haven't assigned any value to index 2. It means it will get the default value of the short. All of the type numbers, dot type, default dot type, I'm sorry. All the numbers default value is 0. Which of following options are true? Let's check them. First, there are more than one right answer. System output println the name of the array. Can we print an array directly? No, we can't. We should ask from arrays class. Arrays dot to string. And here we need to write array's name. But here the system, this coder, whoever he is, trying to print it directly, it won't accept it. It's not true. When we come here, system println array index 2. Index 2 is 0. If you want to print the element of array, it's possible because this is an integer actually. The value is 0 and it will print 0. This one is correct. And we are trying to print something. Okay. We will try to print array first value. It will be index 1, will be 11. Okay. Plus index 3. They are numbers. This Java will make the calculation. The result will be 24. It will bring 24. When we come here, we have some value. The first value is 0. And the coder is created for I loop. It will start from 0 and the length is 1, 2, 3, 4. As long as I is smaller than 4, the loop will continue. Each time we are adding some value to sum. Okay, let's do that. I will write I value and the sum. When we set the I value, we need to check the condition. Condition is I should be smaller than 4 for the body. At first, I will be 0. Condition is 0 is smaller than 4. Sum will be, here, let's check it. Sum is 0. Array 0 is 10. When we make the calculation, sum will be 10. Loop will come to the starting point. I will be increased by 1. I will be 1. Let's check the condition. 1 is still smaller than 4, but it will be executed. Right now, sum is 10. Sum is 10, and I am trying to add I is 1, index 1, 11. Sum will be 21. The next one, I will be 2. 2 is still smaller than 4, but it will be executed. Sum is 21 right now, and I will add index 2. Index 2 value is 0. We are trying to add 0 in this. And it won't change the value. 21, sorry. It will be still 21 because 0 will not affect the result. And I will be increased by 1 because of this increment. It will be 3. 3 is still smaller than 4. And now we have sum is 21. We are trying to add I is 3, index 3, 13. It will be, sum will be 34. Then it will increase the value to 4. 4 is not smaller than 4. This is false, so it is not going to calculate the sum. The last value of sum will be 34. It is. This is also correct. We were checking for the correct ones, so we have 3 right answers here. Let me check if we have any question about this one. No, we don't. Okay, next question is coming. We have another one. This time, we are talking about char data type. I will create an array including char characters in it. Perfect. Let's create them. It will have 3 empty boxes. And each time, all of the index numbers are assigned 0, 1, 2. If they weren't, we would assign default value of char data type, but we don't need that. 0 index will be capital A. Index 1 will be L. Index 2 will be I. Okay. Let's see what we're doing here. We have a for I loop. I will start from 2. The first value of I will be 2. And as long as I is higher than 0, the condition is I should be higher than 0. 2 is higher than 0. Okay, it's correct. Each time we will decrease the value by 1. And we will print the results. Okay, the condition is correct, true. So this loop will be executed. First, it will print the index 2 because I is still here. Whenever I see I will write 2. Let's go index 2. Index 2 is I. It will print I here. The next loop, this loop has finished. In the next loop, we will decrease the value of I by 1 because of here, increment. I will be 1. 1 is still higher than 0. And then body should be executed. Here, the I will be 1 and array 1 will be printed. Index 1 is L, it will print L. Let me show you here something. There is no ln here. If there is no ln after the print, it means all the values will be printed in the same line. Okay, after printing, as you can see, body has ended. We'll go back to the starting point. We will decrease the value of I by 1. It will be 0. 0 is not higher than 0. The condition is false, but it won't be executed. It won't print the value at index 0. We can only see I and L on the screen. This is the right answer, the one we are looking for. All right. We have another question. Now with that type is short. It is not very important, just a number of type. Don't worry about it. It will have, the array will have 4 boxes. It means we can store 4 elements in it. Let me write index numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, and now we will enter the values. 0 will be 10, 1 will be 11, 12, and 13. All the boxes has been assigned to a value, so we do not need to assign any default value here. Okay, which of following options, plural, have same output? When we try to print array 4, it will print error because we do not have index 4, as you can see. It will throw an exception. System out print array 3. It will print index of 3 and it will print 13. System out print array length -1. Let me make it a little bigger so we can see it better. Here, between square brackets, we need to write a number, the index. But instead of writing a number here, coder wrote another code. Array length. Array length is 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. -1 comes from here, it will be 3. Actually, it is exactly like this. Array between curly brackets, square brackets, we are trying to print 3. Just like this one. So it will print 13. It is the same thing. This is a more dynamic code. It will automatically print the last element of the array. What about this one? It is the same thing, but this time it is a length +1. Length is 4, +1 will make it 5. And we are trying to print the value of array at index 5. It doesn't have index 5, so it will be another error. The right code, B and C, they have same output. They will show similar errors, but there are errors. We are not talking about the errors. They still will have same output without doubt. Okay. If you have any question, please ask them. You can ask them from YouTube channel, or you can use other channels too. Okay, let's continue. We have another array. It's not surprising. Which of following is true? I think we have only one right answer this time. We will be talking about the index numbers, so let me write the values here. Oh, there's a problem here. Houston, we have a problem. Let me explain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The first value will be 1. The second one will be 2. Third one is a double. 5, 4, and 5. Let me show you. This is an integer array. It means it can only have integer values. But somehow, developer coder is trying to add a double number here. When coder tries to that, Java will get angry. it will draw a red line under the numbers. And when you try to run it, it will give you a compile time error. Why it is not runtime error? Let me explain the difference between them. When you are typing the code, if you see a red line, right, this Java found your error. It will be compile time error. Runtime error is when you start running the code, the green little button, you know, when you press this button, if you see the error after pressing this run button, it means program is running. The program has started to run. After that point, program will be always running until the end of the application, of course. So if you see an error after pressing this run button, it will be happened in the runtime. During the runtime, it will create problems. Because of that, it is called runtime error. But here, Java will be able to understand, hey, there's a problem, Houston, please fix it. You do not need to run the application to see red line. It will directly show you because you cannot add a double value to an integer array. If it was an array which stores double values, it can be accepted. But here we have an integer array, so Java won't accept it. Java, it will say we cannot add a double value to an integer array. So we were looking for the true one, others will be false automatically. This is the right answer. Yes, we have another one. Which of following options are true for the arrays? Now we need to read all of them. Only values from the primitive data type or references of non-primitive can be placed as elements in an array. If you remember, when we create an array, we can use non-primitive data types, or we can store primitive and non-primitive data types in an array. It's correct. But here, if you use primitive data type, it will store the numbers. If you use non-primitive data type, it will store the references of them. So we can store only primitive data types or references in an array. That's correct. But if you have used a non-primitive data type, and if you have the reference of it, some reference, when you print it, it will directly take you to the object itself. It will print the object. So you won't face any problem when you are using an arrays, of course. But we should know that non-primitive data types, references will be stored in the array. If it is a primitive data type, it will store the values directly in the array. So we have a true answer here. But we are looking for something plural, so this means there is more than one right answer, at least. The data types of all elements in an array must be same. That's the one of the first basic rules. That's also correct. If no element is assigned to an array, Java replaces each element with the default values. That's also correct. From the previous questions, you saw that I have assigned 0 to unassigned places, because default value was 0 there. If it is not assigned, it will be 0. We have already 3 right answers. What about the last one? Creating an array and assigning elements can be done in 2 different ways. Yes, that's also correct, because we can use double curly brackets to directly assign values, or we can create it by using new keyword and data type and setting the elements number in the array. There are 2 ways, so it's also correct. Everybody's right here, as you can see. We have no problem here. If everybody is right, that's the happiest moment of that day. It doesn't happen very frequently. The next question is coming, but before that, I want to check the questions. No, we do not have any question. Okay, let's continue. Which of following options are true for the array? Oh, we done this. We have another array. Which of following is wrong regarding the above program? Let's write the arrays boxes. We will have 4. Sorry, I did not see the last one. The elements will be 11, 12, 13, and 14. The index numbers will be 0, 1, 2, 3. Which of following is wrong regarding the above program? System out print arrays to string array. And this is the right way to print an array, and it will directly print the arrays values between square brackets. It's correct. It seems, at least it seems that way. Let's check the next option. System out print array length -2. You know, length is 4. 4 minus 2 will be 2. It means we are trying to print array 2. The value at index 2. It is 13, and it will be printed. System out print array 1. This is the index number, and array 1 is 12. It won't print 11, it will print 12 because this is the index value. The wrong one is here. We have a wrong one, and I think it's a single. It won't have any friend here, but still, let's check the last option too. We have a loop, and I will start from 0. As long as it is smaller than 4, we will execute the code, then we will increase the value by 1. According to the rules, it should be true, but still I want to solve it. The first value I will be 0. The condition is I should be smaller than 4. Sorry, not 0. And it is true, right? 0 is smaller than 4. It will print something. The array value by using the index number and then plain space. There is no ln here, so it will be printed in the same line. Perfect. First, it will print the array index 0 value. It will print 11 and a space. Loop has ended. Now we will increase the value by 1 because of this part. I will be 1. I is still smaller than 4. It is true, and loop will continue. It will print the I1, 12, and another space. I will be 2. It is still true. 2 is smaller than 4. It will print 13, index 2. Then another space. I will be 3. It is still true. It will print 14 and a space. When I becomes 4, this will be false. So loop will stop here. 4 is not smaller than 4. It will print 11, 12, 13, and 14. Just like that, there should be a space between them, and it's okay. And the wrong one is C. By being wrong, it has the right to be selected. Sometimes being wrong makes you better than others. It seems like that way, at least here. And it is true. The next one is coming. 8. We have another array. Oh, we are using sort method. You know, when we use it, it sorts the array. The array's elements were like this, and when we sort it, it will become 2. Oh no, 0 will be 0 is the smallest one, then 2, 7, 11, and 23. Let me write it again. 0. Index numbers will be 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, we have something here. Oh, the first value of I will be 4. I will be 4. The condition is as long as I is higher or equal to 0. I is higher or equal to 0. Loop will continue. And each time we will decrease the value by 1. Perfect. Okay. Let's start. It is true for the 4, and the code will print system out print array index value and the space. Perfect. I is 4. I will write 4. I will write index 4 elements. 2 and 3. Let me write it here. 2 and 3 and the space. Then we will decrease the value of I by 1. It will be 3 now. The condition is still true. It will print the value of index 3, 11. I will be 2. It is still true. It will print the index 2, 7. I will be 1. It is true. It will print index 1, 2. Then I will be 0. It is still true, right? Because of the equal to symbol. It will print index 0, 0. Then I will be minus 1. The condition will be false right now. This will be on the screen. 23, 11, 7, 2, 0. This is the right answer. What about others? 0, oh, it starts from the beginning. No, it is not. 23, 11, 7, 2, 0. It seems right, but you should see square brackets. We do not have square brackets on the console because we have directly printed the values. We did not use arrays class to print the values. If we had used, there would be square brackets, but we did not. So there shouldn't be a square bracket. This is also wrong. No compile time error. It will print the values like this. Okay, let's check if it is correct or not. It is correct. Thank you. The next question, we have another array. It looks good. Which of following codes could be written to check whether 12 exists as an element in above array? Oh, interesting. Oh, it's all about binary search. Do you remember how we use binary search? First, we need to sort it, right? If you do not sort the array, binary search will give you may give you absurd answers. It is not trustworthy if you do not sort the array before using the binary search. After the sorting, we need to write array, the name of array, comma, the desired element, 12. That's the logic of using binary search. Here, it is trying to use binary search with array itself, the name of array, and the value. But it did not sort it before, so it won't work. Here we are trying to work binary search without anything else. It is directly wrong. It did not use the array's name, and it did not sort the array before using binary search. Here it looks good because this color has created a sort code as a sorted array. This is okay. What about here? Oh no. It did not, Coder did not enter the array's name here. Java does not know where to search for 12. It is 1. Here we have sorted the array, okay, and we have used the array name and the desired value. This is the correct one. Let me check if we have any question. It seems like no, and we will continue. We have another array, and we are sorting the array. And oh, interesting. We are trying to see we are trying to search for 5. Let's see. How does binary search works? Do you remember? After sorting, it will go to the first one. Oh, let's sort it. 2, 3, 12, 12, 2 and 3. First, binary search will go to the middle one. Then it will check. Do we have a 5 here? No, it's not 5. Is it smaller or higher? Smaller. So it will go left side, and it will visit the middle one of them. Do we have 5? No, it is not 5. And where's the 5? It is here. The array does not have 5, as you can see. Array binary search couldn't be able to find it. If remember, if it cannot find it, it gives us a number. Let's write the index numbers: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So it doesn't have it. We know that it will give us a minus number, because if it does not have it, it gives us a minus number. Will it be -3 or -2? That's the critical point, because we have both numbers in the options. Let me say something. This, if binary search cannot find it, it gives you the order if it was there. If we had a 5 in the array, after sorting it, it will be after 3. And binary is trying to give us the place of 5. It was there. But it does not use index values. Instead, it uses the length values: 1, 2, 3. If it was there, 5 would have 3. Not the index value. Don't forget that. Binary search does not return by the value by using index numbers. Instead, it uses normal numbers, because when we check for 2, it will return us 0. Because of that, to prevent conflicts, it does not use 0. If it cannot use the 0 for an element which is not there, it has to start from 1. And now it will give you, because of that, we will have -3. Any question here? No, I don't think so. Another one. We have a counter. We have a for loop, and we are trying to print the value of count. It is asking us the value of count. Okay. We have an array. It has 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5. And we are starting from the 0, index 0, the first element, and it will continue until the length of the array. It will check all the numbers. If array I, the value, equals to 3, it will increase the value of count. Oh, this is very easy. First, we will check the first one. It is 3. We will increase the count to 1. It was 0, now it is 1. When we check this one, it is not 3. Oh, this is 3. Let's increase the count by 1. It will be 2. This is not 3, not 3, not 3. The result is 2, as you can see. I will directly select it. I do not need to explain it more because I think it's very clear. If any element of the array equals to 3, we are increasing the value of count. It was 0. We have 3 elements, and so the counter will be increased twice. The results of the final value of count will be 2. Okay, we have done it. 100 points. Thank you very much. Let's have our break time. Counter. And after 15 minutes, we will continue. Thank you. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Let's continue. I hope you do not hear anything from outside, but I'm not sure. Okay, let's start today's topic. Of course, we will continue yesterday's topic, the list, and I want to add a few things. But before adding any things, let's start coding. I will try to explain solve a few questions. The first, we need to create a package. Then we create a class, then we'll start coding. Day 22, the name will be array lists. And then if we have time, we will also check for each loop. I believe we will have, because this is the last lesson, CO1 question. Let's create the main method. Come on, computer, I'm faster than you. And then I will write the question. Take all the grades from a teacher and when you teacher enters a number higher than 100, stop the application. Stop the program, whatever you say. The result will be printed. Print number of grades, average grade, and how many grades are higher than average. We will print number of grades. I mean the number of numbers user entered. We will print the average value of all the grades, and we will print how many students have higher values than average value. It is saying print. If we want to print the values, it means the return type of the method will be void. Oh, I've forgotten that. Create a method that takes. Okay, we will create a method. Let's create it. It won't return anything. And we are not going to send anything to the method. It will automatically, when we call the method, it will take the grades and it will calculate the average grade, and also it will count the grades user entered. Then it will also calculate how many grades are higher than average grade. First, we need to create a method. We need to take values from user. These are basics. Let's start doing them. Then we will add the steps. How do we create the method? It's very easy. Take grades, calculate average, value, then print hires. That's the method name. It won't return anything. It will print the values. So without assigning it to anything, I will directly create it. I have the method. I will make it public so I can use it everywhere. I have the method. The first step has been completed. The next step, taking values from the user. We need scanner, scan, new scanner system dot in. Then by using this scan object, we will take the values. But before that, let's inform the user. So please enter grades. So to stop application, enter a value higher than 100. And user will take an integer value here. Integer grade will be, but before taking it, let's create it here. I will create it here. It will be 0. And now I will take it from user. Scan dot next int. Okay, but we haven't created a loop, right? As you can see, we haven't created a loop. But if user enters, if user wanted to enter 2 grades, what will happen? We do not know how many times user will try to enter a value. So we should create a loop here. So it should be 2-step. Second step should be create a loop. And here, in the third step, we need to take values from user. All this part should be inside of the loop. I will delete it, and I will create a loop. I will use while loop here, because I do not know how many grades user may enter. While, and in the code, this will be here. What's the condition? The condition is as long as entered value is lower than 100, loop will continue, right? As long as it is lower than 100, loop will continue. Entered, was it grade? Okay. Now let's change it. Entered grade. The user will enter it. And this one will enter grade too. Okay, now the condition, as long as entered grade is smaller or equal to 100. If user enters, teacher enters 100, it should not stop, right? It should continue executing the code. It should ask for the next grade. So because of that, I have used equal to symbol. As long as entered number is lower or equal to 100, this body will be executed. We have taken the value from user. We have asked user to enter a value and we have stored it. What will we do now? Do you have an idea? Let me check. No, we don't have an idea. Don't worry, we will handle the situation. Okay, it says teacher enters number higher than 100. Let's create a list and save all these numbers, grades to a list. We have taken the value from the user, and I will create a list, and I will store all the grades in a list. Or create a list and store all grades in this list. But you know, we should not create a list in a loop. Instead, I will create the list here. List. It will store integer values. Grade list. And I will create it like this. Okay, now I have the list. I just need to add the entered grade to list. Grade list dot add entered grades. Now I have the list of entered grades. It says at the end, print the number of grades, average grade, and how many grades are higher than average. This loop will grade the list. After the loop, after creation has been completed, after user enters a value higher than 100, I will print the list. So, grade list. This will be all the grades entered by the teacher. Now, let's see the task. Print the number of grades. That's very easy. So, number of entered grades is plus. We need to count how many numbers there are in the list, and we have a method for that. Grade list dot size. That's all. It will give us the entered grades number. Average grade. It's also very easy. I just need to calculate the sum of grades. Then I will divide it by the number of grades. That will bring me the average grade. I can use a double here, but it's totally up to me because average number will be most probably it will be a double value with decimal units. But okay, let's create a double. After this one, when we create the list, I will create a double here. Double average grade value. At first, it will be 0. But after that, I need a sum of grades. Integer sum of all grades. At first, it will be 0 too. I will create another list. This time, I will check all the elements of the list, and I will calculate sum of those elements. Then I will calculate the average value. For loop. To find sum of elements, I should start from 0, and as long as I is smaller than grade list length or size, it will continue. And each step I will add sum of all grades will be increased by the elements. Grade list dot get index I. I have calculated the sum of grades now. Average number, to calculate the average number, I will divide this number by the list size. Average grade value will be equal to sum of all grades divided by grade list size. Okay, I have an average value now. The last part is counting the grades which are higher than average value. Again, I need to create another list. I will check all the elements one by one. If it is higher than average value, I will increase a value. Let's create a counter here. Integer counter. At first, it will be 0. By using this counter, I will count the grades which are higher than average value. Again, I will create the same list to check all the elements. Let's create it here for while loop. As long as the size is lower than create list size, we will continue. Here, I need to check something. If grade size I'll get index I, this one will get the elements of the list according to I value. If it is higher than average grade value, I will do something. I will increase the value of counter. Counter plus plus. Okay, now let's print the average value and then the number of good students. So average grade value is average grade value. Then I will print the number of students with high grades. It will be counter. Let's see. Randomly, I will enter a few numbers here. If it works, okay. You don't need to do anything. If everything goes according to the plan, we should be able to handle the situation. Okay, please enter grades. Perfect. I will enter them. 45. Random, I am adding numbers. Let's add the 99, and I want to add 100. Then I will add 150, value higher than 100. So it should stop the loop. And let's see. All the numbers I have entered here. Number of entered grades is 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh, we have a problem, Houston. 150 is also here. I don't want it to be registered to the list. Let's go there where we have creating the list. Here, we are adding the entered grade here. So I need to add the if statement here. If it is higher than 100, I won't add it. I will cut it. If entered grade is higher than 100, I will not add it. If it is lower or equal to 100, I will add it. Now it will solve the problem. If it is lower than or equal to 100, it will add it to the list. And it should be like this. So at last user will enter a value higher than 100, but it won't be added to the list. Let's do it. I will enter just random numbers. That's enough, I think. 150. Oh, I have entered a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, it's correct. Average value is 60, around 60, 59. Okay. Number of students with higher grades is 10. Let's check. This is not higher. Oh, we have 1. It is higher than 59. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, it's working. We did it without any problem. We did print the values. Well, we have written a long code. By the way, I want to tell you, I have created 3 loops here, but I could decrease the value of loops. I can calculate same things in the same loop, but it's also acceptable to create more than one loop for this question. Okay, let's try to solve another question. This one will be CO2 questions. I will write another question here. Take a positive number from user and calculate all numbers that can divide it. And find the numbers that can divide it. Or let's write like this, find the divisors. Find it all. So we will take a positive number from, create a method that takes and finds all divisors of that number. What we are going to do, let me explain. Let's say user entered a value like 12. If you are trying to find all the divisors, we need to check all the numbers until the value. First, I will check 1. It can divide it, okay. 2 can divide it, 3 can divide it, 4 can divide it, 5 cannot divide it, because when we try to divide it by 5, there will be 2 as a reminder. 6 can divide it, 7, no, it cannot. 8, 9, 10, 11, I cannot be a divider. But 12 itself can be another divider. As you can see, 1 and the number itself will be always a divider or divisor, whatever you say. We will create a method. It will find all the numbers. Returns them as a list. The method will find all those numbers and it will return them as a list. Okay. First, I need to create a method, but this method will return a list. Let's create the list. List. It will have integers. The number will be whole divisors. It will be equal to method. Oh, sorry. It will be equal to find all divisors. Method. We are not going to send any value to it. It will method will take the value itself. Oh, I'm sorry, I have forgotten to create main method. So let's create the main method and write it here. Then I will create the method. Now I have the method, and I will make it public to be able to reach it from everywhere. This is the list, and we will create the list inside of this method. But in the main method, after creating it, I want to see the list. Oh, let's use list. Okay. First, we need to get the positive number from user, right? So we can calculate the whole users. If you want to take a value from user, first we need to create the scanner. We have it. Let's inform users. So please enter a positive number. We are ready. Let's create integer. Integer positive number will be taken from user like this. How can I calculate all whole numbers, whole divisors? It's very easy. I will just create a loop. Starting from 1 and until the number, it will check all the numbers. When I do number modulus I, the number check number, if it is 0, I will add it to the list. That's what I'm planning to do. For I loop, this time I will start from 1. That's because no number can be divided by 0. And it will continue until it is positive number, positive entered number. Naming is very important. If you remember, we should always give a proper name, positive entered number. It also changed this part too. Okay. Now we got it. Just I need to will find the positive divisors, whole divisors, and I will add them to list. This list is created in main method. We cannot reach it here, but I want to use another list here because so I need to create it. List of integers, all users list new array list. And if statement is common. If the positive entered number modulus I equals to 0. When we try to divide the number entered number by the value here, if it is 0, I will add it to the list. All list add I. When in the next one, I will be 2 and 12, for example, can be divided by 2. It will also be added to the list. That's all I think about the for a loop. Then let's print the list. Oh, I do not need to print the list. I just need to return it. After the loop, I will return the list. All divisor blah blah. Let's run it. If you miss something, we can try to fix it. Okay, I will enter 12. It seems right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. Just like as planned. Let me increase the value. If I enter 13, There is only 1 and 13. Other numbers cannot divide it. Let me enter it. Another number. Oh, this is also a prime number, as you can see. It cannot be divided by any number between 1 and number itself. Let me use 101. I know it can be divided. 101. Oh, we have 67 here. Interesting. Let's try. 102 divided by 67. It is. It does not have any reminder, as you can see. If there was a decimal unit after that, it wouldn't be a whole divisor. Okay, it seems like it is working perfectly fine. And let me check if we have any question. I sometimes forget to check. We do not have any question right now. Let's continue that. I will try to solve. No, let's go back to the slide and start checking from there. But before that, let me check something. Okay, I couldn't be able to find it. No, a second, please. Sorry. Okay. Here, in arrays, we had a way to sort the list. When we have a way to sort arrays, but to sort a list, we need to ask help from collection class. This class as multifunctional class, so don't worry about it. Just remember the name. If you want to sort a list, you need to use collections class. When you edit names like this, it will be printed as they are added. First one will be Eyüp, the second one is Yahya, third and fourth, as you can see. If you sort it, all the elements will be sorted according to natural order. By natural order, if you have added numbers, it will be start from the lowest one. If you have created a list of string values, it will be listed according to alphabetical order. As you can see, E comes first, Y comes last one, as the last one. We do not need to solve any question, I think, because of this. I hope you understand what I mean here. Let's continue. Sublist, it is just like a string substring. It takes a part of the list. For example, we have this list, and I want to take all of them starting from 1, and the limit will be 3. Let me write, this is the list. Yeah, it takes time. Esra. And the last one will be Seher. All the elements will have an index value 0, 1, 2, and 3. How will it work? It will start creating a list from index 1. Index 1 will be included. And if there's another one, this will be the limit. It won't be included. It will be exclusive. Just before the index 3, I will draw a line. And between those numbers, between whatever inside of the box will be the sublist. Yahya and Esra, as you can see. Okay. Adding elements as a list. I want to start this one after 15 minutes because it will take time, but briefly, I will try to explain a few things before the break time. Normally when we see an array, and if we wanted to it to return it to a list, we have used for loops. But there is another way. But I strongly do not recommend it because I will try to explain why after the break time. How do we create it? If you use arrays as list, the array here, it will create a list. But there are a lot of disadvantages here, and we will talk about them after 15 minutes. Thank you very much, and see you after 15 minutes. Oh, sorry. Okay, we are back in the business. Oh yes, we were talking about creating a list from an array. Yes, there's another way to create a list. Let's write the code. Usually it's better to write the code. C authoring, creating list from array. Of course, we need a main method here. Then perfect, we are ready. So until now, we have used loops to create a list from an array. To create a list from an array, we have always used loops. Now let me create an array. I will copy it from previous questions. And let's change the data type to list. For our loop, and the limit will be numbers, length, and each time I will add these elements to a list. But to add it to a list, I need a list of integers, number a list. It will be equal to, let me import this part. It will be equal to new array list. Okay, we have the list. Now I can add all the elements. Number list dot add numbers index 1. That's all I need to do. This way I can create the list. Let's print the list. Sort number list. I am directly printing the list here. It should be the same with this one. Here it is, this is the list. I'm starting from 6 and then with 8. If you want to check others, the middle ones, you can, of course, but they will be same too. We have another way to create a list from an array, but I do not recommend it. And we recommend creating it like this by using a loop. But we have another way to do it. We have another way to create a list from an array, but we do not recommend it. We do not recommend it because I will try to explain. So we can use I will create another array. The name will be array. That is our same list like default. Can make it a different array. Okay, we have a different array right now. I will create another list. It will have integers. The name will be list from array. And to create this list, actually there's a way in arrays class. Arrays dot as list. And here I need to enter the in a list we cannot have primitive data types, so I should change the data type. This can store only integer values. When you do it in the loop, it is casting to integer automatically. But when you use this code, you need to set the types same. Now let me make it a little bigger. Okay, here we have an array, and I have created a list from it. Let's print it. So list from array, and there's no problem. I can directly print it because it's a list. If it was an array, I couldn't be able to print it directly. Here, let me write an explaining before it. The list created from an array. I've changed the length of the array, so the values are different from the first one. Okay. Let me cancel this one for now. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it on the console. Okay, the list created from the array. We have the list and exactly same elements are there. Well, let me make it shorter. I want to show you something. The length is not important here. I just want to show you why we shouldn't use arrays as this method. Okay. First, we will see them. Then I will write and explain it here why we shouldn't use it. But in need, if you need something like that, of course, you can use it. But first, let's see the reasons. Let's print the array before the list. So the array we are using we will print it here, but I will call arrays the string method an array. Oh, okay. I want to write them the same line. It's okay, it doesn't matter. The array we are using and the list created from the array. They are same 6 to 8, 6 to 8. We do not have any problem here. I want to add a few spaces so they will be together. Okay, this is better and easier to understand. They are same actually, as you can see. So, what's the problem? Why do we create a list from an array? To be able to use dynamic and flexible structure of a list, right? What was the benefits of a list? You know, we can add or remove elements. To be able to add whenever I want to, we create a list. Or if you want to remove a product from your list, you should use list. And let's say we had an array before, and I translated it, I converted it to a list like this. From now on, my array became a list. And let's say I wanted to add another element to my list. It's possible, right? We should be able to add new elements to the list. It's the most important benefit of using a list. We should be able to add or remove from a list. Let's try. I have the list from array dot add. Then I will add a tab. There's no problem. Nobody's complaining. Everything is okay. Let's run it. And we have a lot of red lines. Unsupported operation exception. Interesting. Do you know what it is? I don't know. Something is not supported here. And let's try to remove something. List from array list, remove, and direct I will write the index 1. I'm trying to remove index 1, which is 2 here. And we will see same error. The main reason we created a list is adding or removing elements like this, but we cannot do it. And actually, I do not need to change it to a list because array was the same. It works same way. We cannot add or remove elements to an array. And somehow, when we use this arrays as list method, it prevents this list from adding or removing elements from it. If you ask me if I cannot add or remove an element to a list, I don't need that kind of list. I couldn't be able to use it. What's this for? What is it for? Okay, one more thing. I will only change a value from the array. We will change a value of the array. I will change only the array's value. Only the array's value. It's important. I'm not touching the list. We will not change anything in the list. I'm not going to touch the list. Let's change something in this array. You know, the name of arrays array, and I will change index 2. I will make it 99. Now let's copy this part. And I will write after changing. After we change something from the array. After changing an element of array. That's better. Let's see. Don't forget, I have only changed array's second element. I did not touch the list. But as you can see, we have changed this 8. Oh yes, I have used index 2, so it will be 8. I have changed the array's array index 2 element. Now it is 99. But somehow it has also affected the list. They are connected. You know, I have created a spirited list and I have an array. They shouldn't be connected, but somehow, if you change one of them, especially array, it also affects the list we have created from it. The name has changed, but actually we are using same array. Because of that, we do not use the list. For example, you have created an array, a list from this array, and you are using that list. But somebody changed the original array in the process without knowing anything about you. He's changing an array. It shouldn't affect you, right? You have created a list yourself. The other one in the team, other neat colleague, does not know anything about that. He has changed the array. It is also changing the list you have created. If you ask me, it is not acceptable. And it may cause a lot of big problems, and it will take days, perhaps weeks, to be able to find that kind of error. So, Using this arrays as list array name method to convert an array to a list has two big disadvantages. First, the list we created from the array does not have flexible or dynamic structure. Let me check if we have any question here. We cannot add or remove elements. We cannot add or remove elements. So it's or from this. We cannot add. Okay. Flexible. So the second one is if you change something from the array. If we change an element in the array, it will also affect the list we created from same array. Somehow they are connected. It means somehow there is a bug here and disturbing me. It means somehow it will somehow they are connected. And without knowing, if somebody changes the original array, it will also affect the list. Okay. About this one, when we try to add or remove an element, let's say it causes problems like this. If we try to add or remove an element, it will cause those errors. Okay. I think that's all we need to know. Okay, so I do not use SRA's method. Just create a method yourself. It will be better. Okay, that's all I want to explain about SRAs. Okay, yes, blah, 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 blah. If you want to convert a list to array, and there is a few ways to do it, but it is really confusing to do it. Instead, use a loop and all the problems will be solved. But you should know that if you want to convert a list to an array, you can also do it by a code. But I prefer not using it. Loop is easier to remember, and it is simple and very effective. and it is better than a few methods. One of the most important topics here for each loops. We are going to use all the different kinds of loops in different situations, and you should know which one should be used and where we should use them. We can solve a lot of questions by using different loops. It's okay. You can solve same question by using different loop types. It's okay. But sometimes if you can find the right loop, it will be faster, easier, and more understandable, and you may have a lot of different advantages. So you should know. When we use for each loop. Until now, we have used index structures like this. Index I starts from 0 until the somewhere, and I have entered the I values to get the values. If we want to reach, if we only want to reach the all elements in a list or array in a collection, and if you don't want to use index structure, it only purpose is reaching the all the elements, you can use for each loop. It is faster, but it won't follow the index order. It's very important. It will bring you all the elements without following the order. And because of not following the order, it is faster. Let me give you an example. You want to take, you have a class and there are a lot of students there. You need to register all the names. The most important thing here, registering the names. Everybody should be registered in a list. Here, the order is not important. Just one by one, the students should come and give the names, their names, so you will be able to register them. But we are trusting the students, of course, here. The important part is not trust here. We trust the students. When everybody comes and writes their names on the list, it means the task has been completed. If this is the problem, if you want to reach elements of a list or a connection without index or order, the for each loop is your biggest friend here, or helper, whatever you say. What is the advantage? It does not use index structure, and until now we haven't learned, but some data types does not have index structure, so we have to use for each loop. And when we are creating for a loop, as you can see, we have to enter a lot of numbers, lengths, and increment, blah blah blah. When you use for each loop, you won't use anything like this. Just you will say, hey, I want to reach all the elements of this collection, list, whatever you say. When you say it, the for each loop will say, yes, sir. And it will bring all the order, all the elements. That's all. Basically, without checking the index, if you want to reach all the elements in a collection, you should use for each loop. It is faster and it prevents a lot of unwanted errors. Do we have any question here? Please, if you have without hesitation, you can write it to YouTube channel or Slack or Zoom channel. It's totally up to you. Just write it somewhere. I am trying to follow all those channels. When I see it, I will try to answer it. Okay, without wasting any time, this is the last lesson of the free session. Let's write the code. I will create another class, CO4, for each loop. and we need a list to work on. A second, please. Okay, I will take the list from previous question. Just take something. It can be an array or something. It doesn't matter. If you have created the main method, nothing matters here. Okay. Normally, if I wanted to calculate sum of all these elements, I would use a for I loop, right? Because I know the starting point and ending value, so everything will be enough. If we want to calculate sum of all elements here, we can use a for I loop. When we are trying to calculate some of the elements, the order is not important. As long as all of them takes their places, the rest is not important. For I loop, it will start from 0 and it will continue until the numbers lying, and each time I need to reach the elements and I need to add them to a sum variable. So I need to create a sum variable. It will be 0 at first. Let's add all the elements to this sum. Sum will be increased by value of each element. I will be 0 at first, and I want to reach index 0. So numbers index I will be added to sum. The second one, when I becomes 1, the 4 will be added to sum. Let's print the value. So sum. We will have a number right now. 140, it is acceptable. A very good number. Yes, the order is not important. I can start from here, then I can add this one, then this one, as long as I do not calculate sum of any number twice, it's okay. The order is not important when we are calculating sum of all the numbers. When we are calculating sum of elements, the order is not important. Is there a typo here? Okay. Oh, interesting. So this means we can use for each loop. This means we can also calculate it by using for each loop. And in this kind of situations, using for each loop is a better option. In this kind of situations, using for each loop is a better option. Choose, what do we say? No, situations. So, okay. Let's try to solve same question by using a for each loop. It's again very easy. We had a for I loop. Now we have also no for each loop. I will press enter. To create a for each loop, don't worry about the things like this. I will try to explain what's going on here. First, you need to enter the data type you are planning to use. I am planning to use integers, right? All the elements in this array is integers. So first I will write the data type integer. Inner elements. This is an array and it is storing the integers, and I want to reach each integer. So here, at first, I entered the data type. When I reach this one, how will I use it in the loop? I need a name. Now I know that the for each loop will reach each element, but I should give a name to use them in the code. Otherwise, it will be very hard for me to use them. You can give any name, but usually each keyword is used. You can write each integer, each number, anything is possible. But for now, let's use for each number. Each number. After the symbol, you need to enter the source. From where those numbers will come. The source will be the array, right? Numbers. The source will be numbers. From numbers array, integers will come, and each one's name will be each number. Then between curly brackets, you can write the code. This time, sum will be increased by each number. That's all. Before running, we have changed the sum here. Let's reset the value of sum. Sum will be 0 again. And all the numbers, values from this for each loop will be added to this sum. Then let's print the value of sum one more time. If both of them are 140, everything is going on as planned. Here we didn't. Let's write an explaining here. Okay, we have a bug here, but I cannot catch it. So, if we need to reach all elements of a collection means arrays, lists, that kind of things. And if the order is not important here, we can use for each loop. We can use for each loop. How do we do that? First, we need to set the data type of elements. Here, elements data type was integers, so I have entered integer here. Second, each element will come to the loop. But to be able to use them in for each loop, we need to give a name to each one. Usually we use each, but for this one we have used, for this loop, we used each number. 3. After the symbol, we need to enter the source. We need to enter the source. What I mean by source, I mean from where these elements will come. From where these elements will come. From where these elements will come. And I think that's all. We know how to handle it. We know how to use a for each loop. Okay, let's try to solve a question, and this will be today's last question. CO5 for each loop question. The question is, check all the elements in a given string array if the names length is an even number, print first half. Print the first half. If it is an odd number, print the second half with the middle letter. Okay. Add first half. Add second half with another list. Let's make it a little harder. We will have a string array. It will have names in it, and if the name's length is an even number, we will add first half of the name. If it is an odd number, I will add the second half of the name with the middle letter to a list. There's nothing about the method, then print the list. Let's do that. First, we need an array. String. It will be an array. The values can be anything. I will write a few names. Michael, John, Maradona, Hassan, Ali, Billy. Okay, that's enough, I think. We need a list too, because we will change the name, although then we will add them to list. Okay, let's create a list. It will have string values, and the name will be created list. Let's import this part. It will be equal to new array list. Okay. I just need to reach the elements, names in this array. And I will check the length. If it is an odd number, I will add the first half to a list. If it's an even number, I'm sorry, if it is an even number, I will add the first half. If it is an odd number, I will add the first half with the middle letter. Reach all elements. Order is not important. Order is not important here. Second, check if it is an odd or even length. And we will perform the actions for the result. Add parts of names to the list. If you want to reach all elements without checking the order, I need to use for each loop. For each. First thing I will write here will be the data type of each element. I will reach the names, and the data types of the names is string. And when I reach, for example, Michael, I need a name to use it. Each name will be calculated with the same name. So I will use each name. You can write anything here. What will be the source? All the names will come from this array, right? This is the source. So I should write array here. I'm ready. I have done this part. I reached all the elements. Second part, I need to check something. It means there will be an if statement. If each name length modulus till equals to 0. Oh, equals to 0. Oh, what I'm doing here? Come on, I can do that. It means it has the length is even number. If it can be divided by 2, it should be an even number. I will do something. What will I do? First, I will try to reach the first part. That's an even number. I will try to reach the first part. Then I will add this part to the list. Okay, let's try to reach first part. How can I reach it? It's very easy, actually. We have John, and let's check the index values 0, 1, 2, 3. The index is the length is 4. Somehow, I want to print all elements. Now let me use different color. All the elements starting from 0 until 2. This is the first part. So I should use, I should write, I should use substring 0, 2. This will be the limit. But somehow, by using the length, I should be able to reach the limit. When I divide length by 2, it will be 2. If there was 3 letters, it will be 3. I'm sorry, if there was 6 letters, the limit would be 3, and it works dynamically. Okay, let's do that. I will reach the each name dot substring. I'm trying to reach the first part of the name. It will start from 0. It's okay. The next number, the limit will be calculated by the length. Each name dot length divided by 2. This will bring me the first part of the name. Let's add it to the list. We have a list, created list dot add, and between brackets, this should be there. Okay, if it is not an even number, if the name's length is not even number, it will be here in the else. This time, let me write Hassan here. Hassan. Index numbers are 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. The length is 5. An odd number. And in this kind of situations, we want to print the second half, other half, end of it, and I want to include the middle number. So the task is, I need to include the middle number, and I will print the rest. How can I reach Q by using the length? substring 2 will work here. Actually, length is an integer, and when I use 5, when I divide 5 by 2, it will give me 2. It will, of course, 2.5, but because it's an integer, it won't store the decimal unit, so it will be 2, and it will work for me. Always, it will start from the middle when I use length divided by 2, it will always give me the one I'm looking for. Okay, else. I want to create list, and here each name dot substring. I will enter only one number this time. Each name length divided by 2. Okay, I want to catch you, but I cannot. At the end, let's print the list. So created list. If it is okay, it will be the end of the lesson. If it is not, we will try to find the error. Michael, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, it is an odd number. Middle one is here. It should print here. It does. What about the John? It has 4 letters, and if it is an even number, we are trying to print the first half. It is Maradona. It has 8 letters. We will print the first half. Mara. Hassan, for the Hassan, the second half should be added with the middle letter. It is Ali, second half with the middle letter. Willie has 4 letters. First half should be added. Yes, it is working. Let me check if we have any question here. We don't. If you have any question, you should write it into the channel. I will refresh the page. No, we don't. Okay, thank you very much. That was our final session, our final lesson of our free session. Thank you very much. It was a good free session. I did not have a lot of questions. I did not have chance to answer them, but it's okay. Hopefully, I'm willing to see you in the course. Good night. Have a nice